Hey guys, what's going on? Troy at Mountain Man Treasure here, and today it's a little bit of a what sold.
Mountain Man Treasures.
Welcome into the channel, guys. My name is Troy. I'm a part-time reseller based out of Montana. That means I have a day job. I work at a radio station, and when I'm done working in the afternoons and on the weekends, that's when I can go into estate sales and garage sales and thrift stores, wherever it is. Not even just that. Sometimes Target and Walmart, right? It doesn't matter where it is. I buy something that I think is priced too low and then sell it online for a profit. And we do that primarily on eBay. And what I thought we'd do today is take a look at some of the things that I've sold this month. Now, this weekend is a little slow. I've heard several people talking about how things have slowed down for them, and it'd been doing okay for me, but it finally caught me. And before we get into the what sold, I just wanted to sort of touch on that because not as many things are selling. I'm a little over $100 today, a little over $100 yesterday, I think, and some things may still sell overnight, and it's going to be a fine weekend, but definitely slower than what it's been. No reason to freak out, right? I mean, we're not doing anything different than we were before, and so nothing happened. Nothing, eBay's not throttling my listings. I'm not doing something wrong. It's just an up and down thing. That's how eBay works. But right now, it's going to be down. The child tax credit that's been showing up in everybody's bank account, that's not showing up there anymore. The Christmas credit card bills are coming due. The tax man is coming. We're starting. Everybody's starting to get the W-2s in the mail. That means they're starting to think taxes. It's the end of the month. There's a lot of things coming together right now that mean that things are going to slow down a little bit. So keep doing what you're doing, and sales are going to come back. They'll be just fine. We're going to look at some of the things that I just went through my solds and looked at things that I thought were interesting for various reasons. And really sort of a theme that I hit on was I've got these, I sourced these from a whole lot of different places. And that's one of the questions I get very often is, hey, you live in Montana. Obviously, there's a garage sale season. What do you do? Where do you source when you don't have those garage sales? Well, there's all kinds of places. Now, I do have a whole lot of garage sale stuff still to list that I've got sitting in a pile, and I've got obviously a whole bunch of stuff that's already been listed, right? You don't sell everything right away. So there are garage sale items in this list, but I've got stuff from other places as well. So let's take a look at what I sold it for, and where I picked it up, and I suppose how much I paid for it there. And we'll just dive in. I'm going to run through these pretty quickly so this doesn't get to be a hugely long video. The first thing right here, check this out, Red Sun Superman. Really, really cool set. And I got this actually off of Whatnot. This was a buy it now off of Whatnot. You can do that on there. If you guys haven't heard me talking about that, we've started doing that over the last couple of weeks. It's a live auction site. Check out the app, or you can get there on the desktop now as well. And it's a lot of fun. I think it is a growing, burgeoning place where you can sell some stuff. There are a lot of collectors there, but you can also find stuff to flip if you're smart about it. You have to know your margins. You have to be able to research quickly or jump into a category that you already know about, because otherwise you're going to end up spending too much. So yeah, you have to be really careful when you're doing it. It's a live auction. It moves fast. So you have to be careful. You have to be confident in what you're doing. Now, this was a buy it now rather than an auction. This seller had a list of things that they were also selling just for a set price. And so this was on there for, I believe it was $50. And so I got on and picked that up from them for $50 plus, like $3.50 shipping, something. I don't remember what the shipping was, but $50 in change. And we ended up selling it very, very quickly within a week for $125 plus shipping. We paid up for it, but a great turnaround. So Whatnot is certainly a viable place for you to source online, and they'll ship it right to your door. Just, again, be careful. Don't spend too much on there. This one, interesting, Furby. It was broken. Both of the ears were snapped off. They didn't work correctly, but everything else still worked. I mean, he still operated. The ears just weren't attached. And I've said it before, like on Instagram and Facebook comments and stuff like that, broken Furbies still sell. If you find a Furby, if you can get it at the right price, pick it up, because even busted Furbies will sell. This guy sold for almost $15, and I picked him up at a garage sale for $1. This one, chiseled. I picked this one up from, if you remember, from the pawn shop, and this was sort of a throw-in at the end. Once we bundled everything together, I didn't pay anything for this, and it sold for almost 15 bucks. Sourcing from pawn shops, right? I got Murdude. Murdude I picked up from a Facebook marketplace deal. I paid several $100s for a pile of turtles. And so I don't even know, I'm $1 or $2 into each piece. You know, there's no way to really know. I'm hardly anything into it. And he was complete, thankfully. And so he sold for 70 bucks plus shipping. Here's a poll, though, for you. Third watch. This is season 1. Third watch sells very well, guys. I don't know why, but I've sold this 2 or 3 times now. Third watch, the series. This is season 1. Picked it up at Goodwill for a couple bucks, and it sold for 30. Really, really easy flip. This Left in Colonial Village figure, I think this was the one where there were actually no comps of this particular piece. So I priced it pretty high and sat and waited. And it didn't even sell before Christmas. It sold after Christmas. We've been selling a lot of Christmas type stuff in the last few weeks, actually. But I picked this up, I think it was 50 cents at a garage sale. It was like 25 or 50 cents, and it sold for right about 27 bucks plus shipping. So really nice find there. Yeti, keep an eye out for Yeti brand. It sells extremely well. It's an expensive brand. I found this hat at Goodwill. Paid $2 or $3 for it. And on the back of it, it looked like somebody's dog had gotten to the snaps on the back, on the snapback. There were just not a ton. It wasn't gnawed on, but a dog picked it up at one point and ran around the yard with it. There were some dog teeth marks on the back of the snapback. Noted that in the listing, took pictures of it, and it still sold for about 30 bucks. So you can tell that brand absolutely carries some weight. This hair dye. I picked this hair dye up this summer. I was actually in the grocery store. They had a cart up front with some clearance items. They were 89 cents a piece, and I bought all of them. I bought, like, I don't know, 20 of them, something like that, 22. I don't remember exactly how many. I put them up as a quantity listing, and they actually sat for a while. Months and months. One sold, maybe 2. Several sold to Australia, weirdly, and then nothing else was selling. And then a drop shipper found me. And I've sold, I think, 8 of them to the same drop shipper, always with the same message. This is a gift. Please give us tracking. You would think they would realize that I've caught on, that they keep buying whatever. But I've actually sold some others to other people. So paid 89 cents for it. Individually, they're selling for $14.73 free shipping. So I'd have to do the math, but I'm probably making $7 or $8 on each one. This person actually bought 2 of them, so that was nice. And yeah, about 30 bucks free shipping. Paid 89 cents a piece. I'm almost out. I think I have like 4 left now. So that's a nice little retail arbitrage buy. It's turning into some pretty decent money. How about this Funko Pop? This is a Stranger Things Funko Pop, and again, I went into a retail store. Target had these on clearance. I picked them up for, it was like $5, something like that, like $4.98 or something like that. I bought all of them that they had. I think it was 11 or 12. We bought all of them. Not a big profit margin because I'm selling them for just under $25 free shipping. So once you pay fees, once you take out the money that you paid to buy it, once you pay the shipping, I think I was making about, it was somewhere between $5 and $7 a piece. Just call it $5, but that's how retail arbitrage works very often. The margins are small, but it was a quantity listing. I listed one of them, and it sold over and over and over. And again, like I said, with Whatnot, be careful. You got to check your sell-through rates on this. I saw that this thing was selling very well. There was just as many sold as listed. So I priced mine competitively in the market and waited, and then they started moving, sold through every one of them. So pretty nice deal there. How about another Whatnot pickup? This is a Twilight Zone piece. This was a Comic-Con limited release. It's a numbered edition. There was only several hundred of each of these figures released, and then there are variants inside of that. So some of these are very rare. I picked this up on Whatnot. I got 3 for 25 bucks. And I've actually picked some of these up from several different sellers. I'm letting you in on a little bit of a bolo here if you happen to find these, because these are like toy dealers, and apparently they didn't realize the value of these. There is, now they move slow. They're not going to sell quick if you price it at the upper end, but there's not very many of them. They're limited. There's only a couple hundred in existence. So I priced it high, and I'll sit on them and wait. But this particular piece I got with 2 others for 25 bucks for the 3 of them. And she sold the nurse for $85 plus shipping. That's crazy. I sold another one that I didn't grab a screenshot of. It was not one of the variants, so it was a more common, but it sold for just under 45 plus shipping, and I think I paid like $8 or $10 for that one by itself. I got them from 2 or 3 different people right around, right before Christmas. I saw several different toy dealers selling them, picked them all up, and I've done very well with them. These, I think you've seen on the channel. We talked about picking up the bags of toys at Goodwill. I picked several of them up with Barbie dolls, vintage Barbie dolls for, it was either $1.99 or $2.99, and they all had 3, 4 Barbie dolls in them. Here's one. This is Skipper, and she sold for 23 bucks all by herself. Not bad. We've got some others I'll show you along the way. Here's actually another one, not a Barbie doll, but this is a Disney doll. This is Eric from The Little Mermaid, the prince on there. He sold for 15 bucks plus shipping. Again, came out of one of those bags. Picked this guy up at a garage sale this summer and paid $1. And it was sitting in my pile. Finally decided, you know what, I'm going to clean this up and I'm going to list it. And it sold within the week, within maybe 3 or 4 days. This Structo dump truck sold for roughly 79 bucks plus shipping. Not bad there. Rock Band dongle. Keep an eye out for these dongles. They sell for good money. This one, relatively rare. When I looked it up, this is for the, I believe it was the PS3. It says there on the listing. There were none others listed. Like none listed and 79 sold or something crazy. Like, I don't remember the number. It was a big number sold, but none currently listed. So I actually priced it about $5 above what they tend to go for because I had no competition. And if somebody wanted one, mine was the only one. I paid 25 cents for this. It was a half off pickup, a half off weekend at the local thrift store. It was tagged 50 cents. And so I got it for a quarter and it sold within the day for 60 bucks plus shipping. Always grab your dongle. Airwolf DVD. This was a Goodwill find for, I think it's $1.99 over there. Not a big, not a huge sale here, but I loved Airwolf as a kid. And so I picked it up. Again, not a great sell-through on this one because I looked it up, but I priced competitively in the market and thought, you know what, the next time somebody buys one, it's going to be mine because it's brand new and it's the cheapest one out there. So $14. I'll take that. I'll turn $2 into 14. Not bad. VHS doesn't have to be sealed to make money. Now, this isn't a huge sale, Mystery Train on VHS, but I paid a quarter for this at a garage sale, and it sold for 15 bucks. Again, the ROI, pretty ridiculous. Dr. Hugo, this is another Whatnot pickup. Another guy had this on a buy it now, and I bought it for 25 bucks. And this one, I believe, was $3.50 shipping. So I'm $28.50 into this, and I took an offer of $75.50. I had it priced up at about 80 bucks. This is actually a pretty rare figure. It's from Batman figure. And so, yeah, I turned $28 into 75 plus shipping. Pretty good, right? I'll take that. So again, a Whatnot score, and guess what? Just last week I got online got on Whatnot, and that same guy was back up doing another auction. He had another one of these in his buy it now. I bought it again. So when that shows up here, probably in the next couple days, it's going to get listed again. And again, I'm going to get roughly 75 bucks for this thing. Pretty good return. DVD sets are usually a pretty good pickup, and the Nanny. This one I paid up for only because the sell-through was really, really quick. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to make a ton off of this, but I'm going to make it easily and quickly. I paid $5 for this at the thrift store, and it sold for $24. So not huge after fees, right? And after the $5 taken out, but it's easy money. That's why I love media. It's so easy, guys. How about this one, another media? This is new and sealed. Keep an eye out for the Great Courses DVDs. A lot of them are worth pretty good money. This one I got at a garage sale for, I think, and she knew that Great Courses were good, so she charged up, it was like 3 or 4 bucks. Again, none of these were listed really anywhere. A lot of these will sell around the $25 mark, it seems like. So I priced this one up because, again, nobody was challenging me in the market. And so this went for about 38 bucks plus shipping. I could have gone higher. Who knows? How about another Barbie from the Goodwill grab? Another Skipper sold for 20 bucks. Again, it was like 2 or 3 bucks for $3, $4. Pretty good. ET signed 8x10. This one came from one of my subscriptions. I get a monthly subscription with some movie and TV and pop culture type stuff in it. Some I keep, some I sell, and I think I pay $29.99 a month. So when these autograph pieces sell, they pay off the entire box, and all that other stuff I get to keep for free or sell it off and make a little bit extra. So not a ton of profit on these, but it's cool stuff to have in the store, and some of it, like I said, I like to keep. I'd probably get it anyway. So to be able to basically break even on that, really good. Then we've got Volcano High. This, again, a Goodwill find at $2. And we got $19 out of this one for a used DVD. Again, pretty solid. This Revereware kettle, it took forever to sell, but I paid $4 for it. I think $4 or $5 at Goodwill, and it sold for $50. So certainly a good return, but it did sit around for quite a while. Smary Poppins souvenir program. They used to give, they didn't give them out. They sold souvenir programs at the, like at the candy counter, the snack bar at movies. And this one was Mary Poppins, and I got this from a Mr. Buys-A-Lot auction live on YouTube with 7 or 8 other movies. We've sold a couple others. I sold an Annie actually this weekend. But Mary Poppins sold for $19 plus international shipping. She's going over to the UK. Pretty cool. Then I sold this professional bull rider's hat. This one was from the local thrift store, and it's normally a $3 hat. It was half off weekend. That's usually when I go there, and so I got it for $1.50, and it sat for several months, but it did find the right buyer to sell it for $28. Pretty good on a hat. Groot is usually a pretty good seller, and I picked this guy up on the toy aisle pretty recently at Goodwill, $1.99, and he sold for $17 plus shipping. Bleach, the soundtrack, $1.49, I think, are the CDs at Goodwill, and there was a whole bunch of these listed and only a couple sold. Well, a whole bunch, like 7 or 8, and only a couple sold, but all those that were listed really high, like 40, 50, $75. So I thought, I paid $1.50 for it. Let's undercut them. So I sold it very quickly for $23. I'm good with that. Another big flip from Whatnot, the new Goblin. This was a really cool piece. This was not a buy it now. This was one I got caught up in an auction with a guy, and nobody seemed to know what it was. I was going to get it for a steal, and then he came in and realized what it was, and so we were back and forth. We battled this one out. I got it ultimately for about $75, which is quite a lot, right? But I sold it for $180. That is a good turnaround. It's a really rare piece, so cool to be able to flip that and roughly double my money on that one. Another vintage Barbie Midge. This one going to the UK for €56. Video games, as you know, sell well, and I picked up this one from Facebook Marketplace. I saw a whole bunch of them on there and said, hey, I'll take this one. And we ended up getting these for about $3 or $4 a piece, and this one sold for $23 relatively quickly. We've sold several others from that pickup for $15, $20. So keep an eye out there. You never know what you're going to find on Facebook Marketplace, and it's not always the old Barbies that you have to flip to make money. This one is a relatively new one. This is the Color Reveal Barbie. Sold this one, again, a grab bag, $15 plus shipping. Another high dollar video game, Gauntlet Dark Legacy for the GameCube. GameCube games also a bolo. Keep an eye out for these. Very often sell for good money. And this one I actually picked up from a guy that specializes in video games here locally. I contacted him, and he mostly sells either on Mercari or through Facebook. And I said, hey, I'm a reseller, and I know you've got a ton of games. So what would you say if I come through and we make random deals where I'm going to spend a couple $100 at a time at your place, you clear out some inventory, and I pick up some cool stuff to sell. Now, you realize I've got to have margins. I've got my fees, I got my taxes, all that. And so we worked it out, and so he's selling these things to me for between 50 and 60% of their value. So there's not a huge return on it, right? But I'm picking pretty good games to flip. And again, it's easy money. And so I know going in, I'm not making a huge return. That's fine. I know what I'm getting in for on these, and we're still making money. It's just not garage sale ROI, right? So for Gauntlet, I paid right about $30, I think, once we bundled and made a deal, and it sold for just over $80. So I will definitely take that. Another Barbie doll, Ken, actually, out of the grab bag for $18. Bob Barker. I sold it. I will admit, this sold overnight, and in the morning I freaked out, and the first thing I did was Google Bob Barker. I wanted to make sure that the man hadn't passed while I was sleeping. I picked this one up off of eBay. Every once in a while, I get in a mood and I start trolling eBay for autographed 8x10s that are ending at a weird time that I think are going to end up underpriced. And this one was. I ended up picking it up for like 10 or 12 bucks and priced it high and just let it sit. And it ultimately sold for $67. So an eBay to eBay flip, I can do that too. Ugly Betty, this is one to keep an eye out for. This one I picked up again off of Facebook. She had a whole bunch of them. I said, hey, I'm only interested in Ugly Betty. Sure, I'll sell that to you for $5. Good, because it sold for 70. And then the mask that had been sitting behind me there, I picked up at a garage sale. It was a reseller's garage sale, stuff that she just didn't want to deal with. She didn't want to sell, and she was clearing out some of that death pile. And it took a while to sell. You know, he's been hanging out here for a couple months, but he ultimately sold. He sold this morning for $43 plus shipping. So there you go, a look at some of the things that I've been selling over the last couple of weeks, and a look at some of the places where I got that stuff. So you can see there's all kinds of places where you can source to sell things online. Doesn't have to be at a garage sale. So hey, thanks for hanging out with me today for this this what sold, guys. I do like, I've been recently going into some of the comments, answering some questions, and don't have a question today, but I thought let's randomly select something, right? I don't know. How about this one? Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, I can't argue with you. I simply can't argue with that. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. I sure appreciate it. I do have another Whatnot auction coming up. If you're into wrestling figures, we've got about a dozen that's coming up. If you're watching this day of tonight, it's going to be Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We've got about, I think it's about 12 or 13. It's going to be a shorter auction, hopefully right about half an hour or so. And so if you're into wrestling figures at all, we've got some cool stuff. Actually, let me just, I'll show you the Whatnot preview. What's going on, guys? Coming back at you this time with a loose wrestling figure auction. We got Monty Brown back there. Cool figure. Mexicool. There's La Resistance, the tag team. Look at that. A trio of Bret the Hitman Hart. Rowdy Roddy Piper back there. Can you smell what The Rock's cooking? He's cooking a Whatnot auction. And, of course, we've got the Hulkster himself. Love the shirt on this figure. Hope to see you guys there. There you go. Some cool figures, and we've got some more wrestling figures that are coming up on Whatnot. I've got some Lord of the Rings coming up on Whatnot, a whole lot of figures there. We've got, I think, some more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think I've got some G.I. Joe parts and pieces, maybe. Not enough to do a whole thing, but we'll maybe do a mix and match one. We're going to do some hats. We're going to do T-shirts. We're going to do a lot of stuff on there. I'm starting to do more on there, and it's a lot of fun. Some of you have been coming in, and it's been cool to kind of hang out with you in there, and I sure appreciate your support. And people have been getting some good deals, even in my stuff. You know, I sold some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle accessory lots here this weekend that I know if they're not collectors, they can turn around and flip that stuff and actually make some pretty good money. So Whatnot's fun. Come and hang out with us, and hopefully we see you tonight.